you're all the time talking about apex, first branch. Can you please explain what is each of these concepts?
It's very simple. I mean, basically the idea, and again, it's a rule, there are always exceptions, but every tree in nature has an apex, meaning a part, one single bud or one single branch that is growing upwards towards the light and trying to get as tall as possible. All the other ramifications are, so to say, let's say so, horizontal branches, or anyway branches that create paths that go out and get the light. So the apex is the one and only branch that goes upwards and from which the secondary branches are then developing and they remain, they depart from the trunk. So basically the apex is the continuation of the trunk. You have a trunk line going up and this is the apex in our example. This should disappear and this is the first and for the moment the only branch available. Why is it the first? Because the order is always from the bottom to the top. So if, as in this case, I have one branch, if I have, as in this case, one trunk, my eye goes up and finds the first bifurcation. In this case, the smaller and more horizontal branch is the first branch. Then I could have second, third, fourth, and whenever, how many branches you want. And then finally, I should get the trunk ending in something that is not perfectly vertical, but somehow rather going upwards, and that's the apex. So if you ask me why I choose to make this branch the apex, it's a matter of aesthetics. These three are three branches, and what I call apex is my decision. If I tilt the plant like this is vertical, this I will tell you why it should go, and this is a branch. If I tilt it like this, this is a branch, this is the apex, and this will go. Or I can also decide that this is the apex, and these are two branches. Or maybe, because there are three ramifications from the same point, this is the apex, and one of the two is a branch, the other will go. Why I personally, for my taste and according to some rules, decide that this is the best option. Well, this is the thinner, the smaller one. So typically, the trunk is bigger than the branches. So if this is the thinner, this cannot be an apex. So this must be a branch. Now the choice is, which is the apex? This one or this one? And simply based on the fact that if I remove this branch and keep this apex, I have one less curve. The trunk is going in this direction and continues in this direction. If I instead take this out, I have a nice curve from this direction, then going into this direction. And by the way, in the external part of the curve, we have a branch coming out. This is very natural, very typical, and in fact it's what happens typically in nature, that when your branch grows from an outside of a curve, then the branch has more light to get more energy from the sun. So that's the most natural and most obvious, I have to admit, choice. Does it make sense?
Yes. How are the third branch, fourth branch gonna appear? How do you know they are gonna happen?
Well, this is an apple tree, so it's not back budding that easily, but I can see some kind of branches. And indeed here you have already some buds. So this could be easily a branch. Here you have another bud, another bud. These will all be branches. Of course, I would like to, this is probably going to be bent backwards a little bit, so I would like to have branches here and here. Maybe we're lucky and we get them. If not, we can always graft them. So we can, for example, take a branch from here and graft it here, right? And we could have a branch going out there.
How does that work? What do you mean?
Well, you can have grafts. So basically, you make the cambium layer of this wood just to get in contact with the cambium layer of this other branch, and with growth, with the extension of the cambium, then the two pieces of wood will grow together and merge and stick together, and then you can cut the original connecting part of the branch and leave only the residual part. Well, actually, it was maybe not so clear, but I can show you an example, right? With another tree.